Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is Employment Opportunities with Randy Clark. This show is about employment opportunities in Sylacauga and the surrounding areas. If you missed part of the show this morning, or you just want to watch it again, go to WIL Facebook page or YouTube WIL TV 47 Employment Opportunities with Randy Clark. Now, my special guest today is Mr. Steve Barlow with NEMAK of Alabama. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
Great. Okay. 2100 Old Sylacauga Highway.
That's us.
Tell me a little something about Steve Barlow.
Well, I'm the Human Resources Manager out at NEMAK. I've been there for about 4 years now. Spent some time down at Hyundai Motor Manufacturing in Alabama. Spent some time at Honda Manufacturing of Alabama. And for about 18 years worked for Purcell Industries here in Sylacauga. So I've been part of the community for a long time.
You're well acquainted with the automotive industry.
I am. And it's a very interesting manufacturing field to be in, I can tell you that.
Great. Okay. Now I can't get by without talking about your lovely daughter.
I talk about her all you want.
Laura.
Absolutely.
Barlow Heath.
That's her.
She is a great asset to the city of Sylacauga.
Thank you for saying that.
And I don't know how she deals with how much as she's got on her plate. Not only is the two things that stand out to me is she's my council person, and also the Little League president.
That's correct.
And her husband do an outstanding job with that.
They do. They're dedicated to
how
it.
she shuffles all those other things she does, I don't know.
And the 3 children that she has.
And the
on
3
top
children, beautiful children. I love that family. Okay. What is NEMAK?
NEMAK is an auto manufacturing company that produces high-pressure die casting, producing engine blocks, producing battery trays. We make all these things and manufacture these things for our customers. So we're a Tier 1 supplier to Ford, GM, Chrysler, several different companies that we supply materials to assist them in building their vehicles.
Okay, all right. How long has NEMAK been in Sylacauga?
NEMAK has been here for about 21 years. It was started out as Texid, as many people remember. I can still remember when they announced it, and when it was a big deal here in Sylacauga, and still going strong today.
Okay, all right. Tell me about the growth at NEMAK.
Wow, it's been tremendous. NEMAK here, especially in Alabama. We have plants throughout the globe, but specifically at the Alabama plant, what we've seen, probably remember when it first started, there were 2 plants. There was lost foam operation, there was high pressure die casting. Just prior to my arrival at NEMAK, the lost foam plant had shut down. And what we've seen since that time that plant shut down is we've repurposed that building and been able to grow and add several employees to that building, which is part of our new expansion into the battery trays for the electric vehicles.
Okay.
So we're producing some of those. We're machining, we're doing friction stir welding, engineering, we're doing all types of things and getting these things ready for our customers. So we've repurposed that building. If anybody had been in the lost foam plant a few years ago and then came back and saw it today for the first time, they'd be amazed.
Wouldn't know it.
They wouldn't know it. It is a beautiful, beautiful operation. The building has been completely redone. Not only that, we have about 250 employees in there. It's got about the same amount in our high pressure die cast, and we've added plant 3, which is a brand new building, and it's a smaller plant right now, but it's got some high pressure die cast machines in that. So we have expanded not only our buildings and repurposed our buildings, but we've added customers, and so we've seen tremendous growth here in Alabama, in Sylacauga.
Is this what I hear some of the folks that's been out there for a long time, they call it Tech 1 and Tech 2?
Used to call it Tech 1 and Tech 2.
Now, it's a little different now.
It's a little different now. Tech 1 was back in the Texid days, but people still hold on to that have been there, because we have several employees. Our turnover is very low, so we have folks that have been there since they broke ground on it.
Okay.
And so it's still referred to as those things, but it's still, today it's Plant 1, Plant 2, and Plant 3.
Okay.
And that's the old Tech 1, Tech 2, and now we've added Plant 3.
Okay. And this latest expansion is what you just referred to?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's part of
That's plant 3?
that is part. Yeah, Plant 3 is part of the expansion because we needed larger high pressure die cast machines, and we were able to put those in Plant 3 with room to expand that even more.
Okay.
So we don't think we're done growing.
That's right.
We think that we tend to be optimistic and see a bright future for NEMAC.
Great, that's great. Okay, about how many employees does NEMAC have?
If we look at the total on-site employees, we're about 650 employees.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
That's close to one of the largest in Talladega County.
It is. It is. I think in South Talladega County, we're the largest manufacturer now, or largest employer, I should say.
Right here in Sylacauga.
Right here in Sylacauga.
Okay.
You know, Honda up at the north end of the county, of course, is obviously larger, but for this area, we're the largest manufacturer, or largest employer in this.
Great,
this
great.
area.
Now, I know NEMAC is mostly manufacturing, but there are also many other jobs there.
Absolutely. Just because it's a manufacturing facility, there's a lot of support functions that are needed to make everything work. For example, human resources, we're a support function to the operations team.
Right.
But you also have engineering, you also have IT, you've got finance and accounting. You've got all types of support functions that grow. We're looking for a plant controller right now. Careers.nemac.com for some of the salaried positions if you're interested in something like that. But no, it's not just laborers. It's not just those things. All are just as important as the other. But we need a lot of support to make everything work right.
Maintenance is a big part of NEMAC.
Maintenance is huge. Yes,
Okay.
Maintenance techs are highly needed right now. It's a difficult time when you're trying to hire people in today's market for whatever reason. If you walk down the street of Sylacauga, you're going to see help wanted signs everywhere.
That's right.
Manufacturing's no different.
Right.
You can see signs for manufacturers up all over town, people looking for people to come to work. And so there are opportunities out there for everyone.
Right.
It's a manufacturing job, so it's difficult and it's hot and it's all those things. But if you want a job and you need to work, there are opportunities out here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I'm going to get in a little detail about this. What kind of shifts does NEMAC have?
It's kind of a mix of shifts.
Depending on what you're
depending on the business demands for that area.
Okay.
For example, we run a 4-shift pattern in some places. That's 12-hour shifts, but it allows our employees to get off sometimes during the week. So they have a couple of off days during the week, and they get every other weekend off.
Great.
So that helps with some of that. It also allows them the opportunity to work some extra, but it's not a traditional first shift, second shift, third shift.
Right.
It's A, B, C, and D. And then we do have those traditional 8-hour shifts in some of the other areas of the plant.
Okay.
So it's a mix of schedules.
Now, I guess NEMAC offers overtime?
We do. There are opportunities as business demands. It's certainly not guaranteed, but there is opportunity for people to work overtime. And right now, especially on our battery tray lines and some of those areas, they are working a lot of overtime.
We seem to be leaning towards this these days.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And part of that is having trouble to get people, hired to come into work. So the people that are there are having to work extra to cover those things.
Right.
So I always tell folks, be nice to the people that are working right now because they're the ones that showed up.
That's right. Those workers that's been there for a while, they're the backbone.
You better believe it.
They're the one that really makes it run.
You better believe it.
Okay. Now, we covered about what days they work.
Yes, sir.
How does someone apply to NEMAC?
Well, there are a couple different ways. The first thing, just if you want to go to work today or you want to be considered for work, go to Temp Force. They'll tell them that you're
Temp Force right here in Sylacauga.
Right here in Sylacauga. Okay. Tell them that you're interested in NEMAC.
Okay.
And also, you can go online. You can look on Indeed.com.
Indeed.com.
Indeed.com. That'll get you into some of our direct hire positions. We do have some of those available, such as maintenance techs. We
Right.
try to hire those directly in full time.
Okay.
And then if you're looking more for a salaried position, support function, you can go to careers.nemac.com.
Okay.
And see our careers page.
One more time.
careers.nemac.com.
Very important.
Yes, sir. And you'll see the entire NEMAC facility. So make sure you select Sylacauga if you want to work in the Sylacauga area.
Okay. In other words, there's more plants than just Sylacauga.
Absolutely. We've got for our business unit, we've got 2 plants in Wisconsin. We've got a plant in Tennessee. We've got 2 plants in Kentucky. And then us here in Alabama.
Okay.
And so yeah, we're spread out in here, but then we've got plants all over the world.
Okay. A little misconception about the temp force.
Yes, sir.
When somebody does go through temp force, now, my understanding of temp force is to make sure that an employee is a good fit for NEMAC.
Yes, sir.
And also to make sure NEMAC is a good fit for
Absolutely.
employee.
It goes both ways.
Right.
Absolutely. When you look at the temporary employment that we have staffed, it's one thing to look at them as just a temporary employee, and it's another thing, the way we try to look at it is our future employees. So we try to treat them with the same amount of dignity and respect we treat our full-time people. We also want them to understand that them becoming full-time can depend on a lot of things. One, it can depend on business needs.
Right.
You know, if we have an expansion or something like that, chances are good they'll get rolled over pretty quickly. There's also, you know, just the standard that if they come to work every day, they do what they're supposed to, then we're probably going to roll them over to full time. We're going through some transitions right now of taking temporary workers and making them full time with all of our benefits, and they get the chance to be a full time NEMAC employee.
Okay. I know a lot. From my understanding of temp force, a lot of it is to make sure you come to work on time.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you're there every day.
Yes, sir.
And give a company, if they pay you 8 hours, give them 8 hours work.
Absolutely.
It's just simple things.
Absolutely. It's an
And
exchange.
It's very important to be there on time and be there every day.
That's
because
right.
this is a good sign of NEMAC wants you.
Absolutely. A lot of people apply for NEMAC. Not everybody gets hired at NEMAC.
Right.
Like I said, our turnover is, especially pre-COVID, our turnover was less than 2%. And that's for our whole hourly and salaried workforce.
Okay.
We don't lose a lot of people. And prior to COVID, our absenteeism rate was less than 1%.
Right.
So people show up and when they're supposed to, and they stay employed.
Okay.
And I think that has a lot to do with the culture that was established long before I got to NEMAC,
Right.
done by our plant manager, Nick Davy Turner, all the way to our operations manager, David Pruitt, down through the HR staff. I have a great team, John Parrish and Virginia Pittman, who are just make my life so easy, and I appreciate them. But it's a culture that is embedded in the NEMAC Alabama facility. We lead our business unit with our turnover rates and our absenteeism rates, and we're kind of the bell cow when it comes to that, and we try to help the other plants and some ideas of things that we do to keep our employees happy. But it really comes down to the simple thing that you treat people with dignity and respect and listen to them, and they'll want to work there.
Right, right. That's great. Now, Mr. Barlow, is there anything else that you would like to say about being employed by NEMAC?
There are a lot of benefits to being employed at NEMAC. As I just said, the culture, you get to work in that exciting culture. There is an opportunity for growth. We have tuition reimbursement. We offer, especially if you come in on a technical side where you're an engineer or an engineering background, we have a complete career path that we map out that people can see. I started an engineer level 1, and I can go all the way to a principal engineer, and I can see exactly what I have to do to go. So we have several different programs and can give people the opportunities that to grow as much as they want to grow.
Okay.
We offer a lot of training and give them those opportunities. So it's
Great.
a great place to work.
Great. Mr. Barlow, thanks for coming in and explaining about NEMAC this morning.
Yes, sir.
It was our viewers was real interested in NEMAK, and y'all are a great asset to this town.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate you being right here in Sylacauga.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, folks, if you're looking for a small town to raise a family in, best goes around, great real estate market, plenty of job opportunities, beautiful golf courses, lake life within 30 minutes, surrounded by beautiful forest and the most friendliest people in the world. Come on down to my hometown, Sylacauga, Alabama. Tune in next week with special guest Dr. Michelle Eller of the Sylacauga Board of Education. See you then.